This is Jack again, so I'm continuing with the mind placement. The Anunnaki, the serpents and the Syrians realized they required to rule existence. It means all beings in existence, no one excluded. They were the only three standing and remaining in existence. To remain in existence, to rule, and of course their races. And thus they found that method to basically how they captured all of existence. Firstly, is they placed the gravitation manifestation the Atlanteans used here on Earth into all of the planets, with all the races within. Why did they do that? Because they knew if they placed that in, eventually the planet will manifest, but not the beings themselves, and they'd have a problem. Because themselves in the city won't be able to manifest or exist there on the planet, and they'd be able to be captured easily, or be able to be lured easily. So that's what they did, secretively of course. They placed in the gravitational core into all the planets, on which there were beings existing in, and upon with their cities. And so first they had that taken care of, so that they can do that and capture the beings and lure the beings more easily. So Anu said, right, once we capture these beings, we're going to place them all in this dimension. Because in this dimension, they're first going to have to be implanted with that mind placement, so that it can connect to the crystals, so that who they are is suppressed and they don't remember a thing. So that when they come into this human physical form, that point, that center point within their interdimensional mind, gets placed into the interdimensional placement of the placement of the systems in the human form, and then they can manifest simply. And then when they die, they don't remember a thing, they don't remember who they are, they don't remember what they experienced, and we can just recycle them all the time. So that's how everything started getting together. Once they had the dimensional placement in place, which is called the dimensions, or when you cross over or die, where you go to, etc. That's the place. And first, then what they did, after all this was now prepared, after this dimension was prepared with the crystals, of course they killed a few ape men to die and have the beings go into the dimension, quickly place in that system and have them see what happens. So then basically they become just floating zombies. Just floating, that's all they did. They're dead to a certain extent. And then Anu was satisfied. The Syrians were satisfied. The serpents were not yet satisfied, of course, because they did not yet know what was exactly going to be their role in all of this. And what happened next? So they still had, now this is where Enki comes in. Enki told them, listen, personally, I don't feel like making these things for all of these beings in existence. Do you know how long it's going to take us? There has to be a way where they can kind of develop on their own, be birthed here in this world through two coming together or something, and then just every time that happens in some way, they could just a dimensional being can come in and go on, and that's how everything will start expanding here. Because I'm not going to sit here for hours of time and just develop forms. That's what we're going to have to be doing. We're going to have no time to enjoy the pleasures of power, of control. And now Marduk during this time was becoming frustrated, because he had started growing quite a liking for these creations. He started having respect for them, because he told Anu and Enki and Enlil, these are live beings. They are alive, and they are actual beings, although they're in systems. How would you feel if you were in them? Of course, they laughed at Marduk in his face, saying to them, you're not going to get anywhere if you feel anything for anyone. Yet if you want to, you're more than welcome. And Anu threatened Marduk. He said to Marduk, Marduk, if you don't shut your mouth, if you don't stop, I will manifest you into one of these forms, and then that's it. So Marduk kept his mouth shut. Marduk was very much a silent, more silent being than an aggressive one, taking action. He was very passive, kept much to himself. And although he didn't agree to what Anu, Enki and Enlil was doing, he continued programming the beings. He showed them what he had learned so far. He showed them what he had done so far, showed them his plans. He said, well, you know what, if they're going to be here, why don't we then manifest them, at least give them that, at least give these Atlanteans and the rest of existence that they as the systems will be respectable in terms of becoming actual beings, the systems becoming beings. That would make me satisfied. So Anu said, well, great, that's what we want eventually in any way, so you continue with this. Now remember, even during the 8-man period and the dinosaur period, they were still able to get gold out of this earth interdimensionally, and that's what they continued doing. The point where the interdimensionality actually stopped was when where the Adam and Eve story comes in. And that is also a very, very fascinating story. So Marduk continued his programming. He became very smart, very clever, insightful. He worked closely with Enki and Enlil as well. Enki was more in terms of the development of the DNA. Enlil was more the female-male manifested expression, how that the organs will work. Until Enki became jealous, because Enlil was working with the expression of the male-female form and how that would work together, so he needed to experiment the stuff. So he had quite a bit of, and during the time interdimensionally there were female expressions. And Enki became frustrated because now Enlil's got all these women and he's testing it from all over existence, because he needs to find the perfect match of a female expression so that the two human forms that come together create another perfect human form, and the DNA has to be specific, the genes has to be specific. So he went from race to race to race. Now what he did was he actually placed himself interdimensionally as one of those forms, and then he went and actually had intercourse with these female expressions to see if this DNA will match. Okay, this is Jack. I'll continue in my next interview. Thanks.